Live on YouTube, keeping it easy and sweet today. It's a glorious day. And you can see right here in front of me is the Brutal Blade of CROM number 2. It dropped today. So congratulations to all the CROM brothers that put this together and got it out there, especially their project lead, Jamie Barrows. I'm not going to spoil too much. Get a rundown. I got Leo, Jamie Barrows, Jake Quirk, Matt Chi, Adam Robinson, Claude Willis, and Crommunity Ripper. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories. This is 52 pages. It's amazing. It's just such amazing work, amazing stories, an amazing effort. Jamie and I actually got to meet at IC3, and we put together this little con sketch, if you will. He did the doodle, I did the ink and some color, and made it to the back. Pretty happy about that. And you can get copies. If you use Instagram, you can go to Just Jamie in his Instagram bio. There'll be a direct link to where you can get a hold of these. I have a couple copies at CROMBarbarian.com. So supporting that effort. If you don't have issue number 1, you can also get them from Jamie. Just Jamie at Instagram, and myself at CROMBarbarian.com. I do have limited copies. When I do run out, I will help get people to Jamie. I also have other comics, so if you want to put together a big bundle, you're in the right place, especially when it comes to CROM the Barbarian. Jim Gullett put together his collection of the first 4 CROM stories that he had done for Lucky Comics, and this goes back to 2018. So some incredible work here. Something you have to have because we got Drawn Sword, Scoundrel's Dread. This is an amazing collection of drawings. It's like I call it like a dark art concept book. I mean, this is just incredible stuff. Limited edition, signed and numbered. By the man himself. I got a couple copies over here in the States to help on saving shipping. Just added to the store today. I got a couple copies from the Jeff Lafferty, the Berserkonaut master. We also, Jake and I from Turbo Pit Fighter. It's another podcast that I co-host with Jake Jacobs. We're working on making Turbo Pit Fighter. Just signed him up for a September 14th interview. So cannot wait. Way long overdue. He's been coming back slowly. If you follow Jeff on his YouTube channel, just an inspiration. He inspired me and motivated me as I was coming back into comics and art full-time. From the full-time art, full-time job. So he's been a huge motivation, but he has an incredible story for being an indie comic artist. So cannot wait for that interview. Then, of course, you have my CROM 2024 collection. You can still get copies of that. This is just all my CROM, 140 pages, Sword and Sorcery magazine size goodness. And of course, today we're going to be going over where the checklist of where I'm at on CROM Anthology number 1. Copies can still be purchased as long as I'm still working on CROM Anthology number 1. The mock-ups will be available. 228 pages right now. It's not formatted in the way it's going to end up in the end. Pages still need to be inked. Pages still need to be lettered. There's a lot that still has to go on, but I'm ticking off the the checklist. I'd love to get 10 of these out in the wild as artifacts. So once the real deal CROM Anthology #1's out there, these will no longer be available. I'd love to see 10. Just received an order for #7 last night, so I have to thank that individual for supporting my efforts and all the other efforts. I've got about 18 people who have contributed and I'm collaborating with. So this is some amazing stuff. So go over to cromthebarbarian.com and get yourself at least one CROM comic. And what's all this about? Yeah. People never text you when you're just sitting around, right? They always text you when you're doing something like a live stream. So it's all cool. Either pick up one comic or pick up a bunch and save on shipping. It's one of the major reasons I'm getting a hold of other people's work, getting them all on CROM the Barbarian. I know it's murderous to order one comic and pay that much shipping, but the more comics you add to it, the shipping increases just a little bit, but you get more books. I also am that kind of guy that hates getting one comic book in the mail. I love getting a bundle in the mail and being able to, sit there with all those comics and just going through them and reading, spending the evening, a couple of days and afternoon. So why are we all here today? Other than the good news, the great news. Thank you, Sardonicus. I am just going to review kind of quickly. I mean, I'm not trying to get out of here. I do have other things. Today's been a very big day in administration, help promoting Brutal Blade of CROM #2. Just other things I have going on. But things are going very, very well. A lot has been accomplished. If you were with me, I think it was the end of July, I went through the 228 page mock-up and basically checked off everything that needs to get completed in order to be out in the wild, be published. So the way I'm feeling, I'm still feeling this, although I do have one announcement, I guess. That October is what I'm shooting for. Somewhere in October, this is going to get out there. That's what I'm shooting for. I do not want to stress myself on trying to put this, because as soon as I started making that form date in my mind, of course, I got a commission, and it's going to end up being a big commission. Now, the person who commissions me, which I have a few people, but this person individually is very gracious and allows me the time to work on it, here and there. But I also, want to respect somebody commissioning me and getting that work out. So it is going to end up getting into my workload, which is super awesome. I always love doing the commissions for this particular patron. But it slows things down. I'm not one of these things that's going to double up my time. I want this to be as formed as I feel it can be for right now. So with that being said, couple of things. I'm not going to take, for instance, I'm not going to repeat anything. But I wanted to show off a couple things I have accomplished, and I'll actually show some of the original art. I just had to do the 4 pages of CROM and Dravanis, part 1, which are pages by the legendary outlaw comic Ken Landgraf, and I have completed that. So those 4 pages you can see over here on this horrible stark white paper, but you get the idea of what I had to accomplish here. And I'll actually show you the plates that I did and explain a little bit more on how that works. So that has been accomplished, so I can remove that from the checklist. Let's keep moving along here. Let's see what else we have going on. Oh, yeah. So we have, okay, the inking, lettering, and adding sound effects. I might have to I still might go back to adding some sound effects. I kept this in there, but John Molina's CROM the Barbarian and the Serpent's Lair, the first 9 pages of a 15-page, right now, 15-page arc. He has 14 pages already submitted in, which leaves pages 10 through 15 plus. We don't know. There might be some more inspiration that comes along to John that he'll extend the story or not, but that will be included in CROM Anthology number 2. So with that being said, I am going to show off the inked pages. So 9 pages. I've been some of the stuff I have already. I'm going to glance over because I've already mentioned certain things. But the one thing was I did a screen at about, I would say this about 60% as dots. Your Ben-Day dot thing, and printed it out, and then. Yeah. No worries, John. They'll be there on the afterplay. John Molina was there, just jumped on. So this has really worked out. It worked out so well having this dot gray screen because I really wanted to allow John's pencils and characterization, because it's this Amerimanga style, to really shine through. So with that being said, I have done a good job, I think. You'll see a couple of things. One thing that happened is I took some chances just to see how things worked out once I scanned them and got them in, and noticed a couple of areas where I then came back in and added screens digitally. So I try to keep this 90% of my art pure, no digital effects, amplifying or working on top of it extensively in Photoshop. So I did hold to that, though I did have to, I think it was maybe about 4 areas. I really can't remember right now. But one of the things I did is, it's kind of interesting. I do this little flourish here to make the point from the text being spoken to the character, but I did not white it out. So it just goes right over the screen. I like that. So this becomes its own sort of reading, taking the time, spending the time and reading, and then it indicates, if you don't know it's him talking, then there's the reminder. So that really worked out well. It was always a happy surprise. Added a gray screen there. Yeah, it's all kind of good. Yep, that was all good. That's page 6. Added gray screen, added gray screen. Yeah, pretty good here. I like this page a lot. I have been actually watching a lot of anime, OVA, as a matter of fact. I found a channel on YouTube that's been doing, I think he's up to about 6 volumes of reviewing 10 OVAs at a time. It's not in consecutive order. Found a sword and sorcery one called Legend of Lamnir. Yeah, Legend of Lamnir, which is like a Japanese spin off of Tarna from Heavy Metal. So I think I'm going to end up watching that either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm kind of excited about it. It was a good review. This page needed a lot of screens. Now that I think of it, screen, and then screen. These 2 screens, I actually only had the warlord unscreened, and the character in the background were screened. So these 2 characters in the background screened. Pretty cool effect. So I'm really excited to see that come into print. I think I threw a screen in there. That's it. I love this. I was really anxious to get to this cartoony, and then the sexy girl waiting for him in his room. pretty cool. Did I end up throwing a screen on this? I might have. I can't remember if I did or not. But it all worked out really well. Going back to CROM and Dravanis, part 1, you can see this is 13 by 19, which is the standard that I work at. So Ken works 11 by 17, so I made 400 DPI scans, blew them up, and then laid the text over, printed it out light, and then just went ahead and hand wrote, because I have to have everything with hand on it. I'm not at all a fan of digital fonts. There's a couple of times that I've seen it recently in a couple comic books that I got a hold of, done well, but my eye still shifts off of the handmade art to this digital thing back to that. And I'm not, it's even worse when it comes to digital coloring. That's a very hard thing to make me happy. So 4 pages, not a lot of text, so it didn't really take a lot. It was but to get them scanned and then laid over and then, stitched in there digitally in Photoshop, that pretty much took me a day, of work. So it was good. I think I've already shown this off. I just wanted to include it as, let me see here. I think I did not. No, I don't think I took the marker away. I did get. Where did I put it? I think it was right. No. And I have the table of contents. Here we go. So inked and lettered. Oh shoot! Did I just? Yeah, I did. Ripped it. So that just added value to that. Ooh. Well, there you go. This is the working copy, anyways. I always have working copies. I'll even make red marks with pen and everything, so it's not that upsetting. But 2 pages, inked by me, written and drawn by Steven Sonnefeld, who is our gracious donator of 12 free comic book scripts that you can go to cromthebarbarian.com. I'm going to do a 2-pager here. We get a kind of a feeling. This is just page 1. To kind of get an idea of how simple it is, but the scripts are really well laid out. So if you want to jump in to CROM the Barbarian, get that opportunity to be a part of a CROM Anthology, but you're not strong in writing, you don't really want to get into the writing part of it, you just need something to guide you along and then you can depart from it. Stephen has donated 12 scripts, various pages, various lays of the land. It's just him being an adventurer. I have 3 in there. They're not all CROM. 1's CROM and 2 are CROM-centric, which basically means it has something to do with CROM, whether it's setting like Viking, medieval, or like one is based on CROM sword, Skullbiter. So pretty darn cool. And then, so the other thing I got finished was 8 pages of Rick Friends, who's working with me on Spawn of Afgorkin. So 13 by 19 printed out. That's that 10%. And then I just went in, made borders, and played into some effects, I guess is what it is. But that's all of the text for the 8 pages. Scan it in and then just copied and paste and put in. You can see here, right here, so here's page 1. We got the pages scanned. This is done, so I can take this away. So you can see even black, I inverted it to white. And then, it just has this, I really love the way this effect came. So a font kind of dirtied it up a bit. Then when I printed it out, I can just get this like black line that has that offset old school feel to it. So really, 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 really excited for Spawn of Afgorkin. Story is great. Afgorkin is the Lich from Kothar, which is the first story, which is a sword and the sorcerer. And of course, he is the one that Afgorkun gives Kothar a sword called Frostfire. So one of the things I'm doing with the library, the Gardner Francis Fox Library, and having the custodial access to using the material and bringing it in, especially with this sword and sorcery material of Kothar, Kyric, and Nile the Far Travels, incorporating those together, not dismissing anything, but just basically kind of folding in stuff. So Afgorkun is like this ageless sorcerer who's now a lich and is in this tomb, and Kothar runs into him and stuff. But I wanted to do something. Rick and I kind of came to this point that we wanted to deal with the sword and elements around that sword. So this kind of just wrought iron, it says here, I have shaped the iron, but it is dead, empty as the bones of kings. Skullblighter will not be forged by by hammer alone. It must drink deep of blood, soul, and starlight. Spawn of Afgorkun. So it's basically him making that sword and then releasing it. But the thing is, and it's just a little bit of teaser, and this is I'm only telling you guys who have come in and have stayed this long to find out how things are all going. This character here is a model by the name of Zoe, and Ossuary Angel is what she goes by. And Rick and her work together a lot. So this was some an old photo shoot. And this is Rick, by the way, dressed up as Afgorkun. And then reshot some new stuff and then put some sword and sorcery stuff in there. So, you have this tropey skull face sorcerer, like He-Man, Skeletor, and then you have this sacrifice. But she is a goddess named Izra, Izthra. And she's going to be a new character that will be introduced in. She has been mentioned. She has mentions in CROM 1, but she's going to be really introduced well in CROM 2, the anthology. She's taking a physical form to be sacrificed in order to be an entity within the sword Skullblighter. So one of the cool things that I'm pulling together on, gotta find where it is. No, it's got to be back in the spot here. Is I have here it is. So Lala and the Time Machine. So this takes place after CROM and the Warlock of Shardor, which is in CROM the Barbarian #1. In that story, CROM, in order to escape his pursuers, wraps his clothes up with the sword and kind of sticks it up on a roof, a low-hanging roof, to intentionally come back and get it, but he doesn't. And so as an outstanding, as somebody might say at the end of the the story's over. Does CROM get get his sword back? Well, the sword makes it back to Lala and the caravan, the Azir caravan that she's a part of and stuff. And she's lamenting because she knows CROM is not dead, but everybody else is starting to say, well, yes, he is. So, and there's internal fighting because CROM, one of CROM's buddies here, basically gets stabbed Halvar to death, comes back for a while in order to kind of reestablish some order within the tribe, but then, antics ensue and everything. And this is the particular style that I want to work with in story construction. I hate it. It brings me no joy to do a linear epic, page 1, chapter 1, book 1, and then I can't. I always loved the old comics in the way that, they hammer these things out. They really get these comic books out, and things would be missed. Things would be added without any kind of thought of contradicting something. but they would always have to work it out in issues coming. And that's what I want to do. I want challenges. I want to get called out on. I really want the Crommunity to be here with me and be like, hey, Kurt, you know, CROM Anthology #2, you did this, or this was done. You know, now we're going to head into CROM Anthology 4. I was wondering how you're going to tie that together. You know, I'll be like, man, great idea. But also, too, including other people's versions of CROM. CROM's a public domain character. Let people play. And then be able to collaborate with those individuals and share the elements too inside stories. So that's a huge thing that I'm looking forward to. So, you know, just to also get like an idea of some of the effects. There's a mention of like a cosmic star pattern. Tried to get this to work in there. Didn't really. Kind of wanted the blade, and then it just didn't work. So that didn't actually make it in there. Skull, a ghostly skull pattern over the sacrificial being body of Isra, you know, just kind of like dirtying things up. Just as that actually didn't come through well. I ended up using another scan of chalk. No, it was colored pencil stick. Some, you know, symbols, you know, just that kind of stuff. And then Skullbiter as this, you know, the known my design for that hilt, you know, there. And then, you know, it'll say down here something that they're like, I release you into the world now, Skullbiter. So there's that. Moving along, Jason Schoonover, we're almost completed here. This is Jason Schoonover's CROM Dahar, which he wrote and laid out pencils. Let's go find CROM Dahar. Let me make sure it's not ahead of here. Nope. Oh, here it is. So, of course, I had my skeletal ink, pen and ink line work laid out, 80% done, and start working on my gray values, my tone and textures and stuff. I'm at a closing in. This will be completed this week, tomorrow, which is a Tuesday, or Friday, but it will be. I have everything thought out. The thing is that these are notifications for spray. I have cans of spray paint that I use. Now, spray paint's tricky. You know, I don't want to use it once and then have to go through all the time of cleaning it and everything. I'm thinking about getting an airbrush. A friend of mine has one, an old one. I might actually get a hold of it. But anyhow, you know, I have to set up some of these pages so they're masked out. And then I could just, you know, one by one hit them, keep the window open, so I don't fixate myself with this, you know, spray stuff and everything. But you can see things are really shaping up on these pages. But I have this black wash. I need to make this go down, spray paint over that. But going well. This is a bit of a challenging page. There's got to be some decisions made by me. I have a couple, but those decisions doesn't mean it's going to resolve this page, which I love, by the way. This is not a complaint. This is really what I like getting myself into. Corners. Paint yourself into a corner and have to paint yourself out, whether the paint's dry or not. So its clarity is really what I need to get in here. And there were a couple of things going on that I've got to make some decisions. This might be confusing, but I still like it. That's the problem. It might be just too harsh of a, I don't know. I'm going to probably even have to talk to Jason Schoonover about this. Page is pretty done. I really didn't do a lot other than black color pencil to kind of knock some areas down, create some shadowing here and here. But like this, I just love it how it is. It's just, you know, this is the old VCR recording, you know, and things just moving around. Like, what the hell is that? You're not going to know. You're not going to know. If you stop the freeze frame in a video, you're not going to know what some things are. Not everything is so digitally clear when you have video, when you have a VCR recording of something. And the one thing I was thinking is I need a light source coming out where he's doing his chitty chatting. So there, I don't know. I might put him up in here. Like I'll just paint this out white just to indicate that that's what's in here. And I do need to bring this up a little bit more. So, and then everybody's out. Then this is going to get all masked out, and then I'm going to hit this with a lot of spray paint to just really make this this bright, and then probably even bring in some more highlights. So CROM the Horror with Jason Schoonover, like I said, going to be done this week, which then means I have to go into, you know, the heavy lifting for me. Ooh, I want to stop. Sardonicus, keep me up to date on what you're doing with the photo story, whether it's CROM related or anything. You know, I do follow you. I do see what you get up to, and your photographic skills are amazing. So please keep me aware. You can get me at kurt@cromthebarbarian.com, so you can email any links or anything from there. So let's just take a look, just to remind people of what the heaviest of lifting that I need to do. Of course, we have Drawn Sword. I have not talked to him in a while, and I'm hoping when he sees this, I'm going to be bugging him real soon to find out what's going on. All right, so here we go. This is CROM Junior, which is actually going to be a color rendering with the tone and texture, but it'll still be printed in black and white. I have 5 other stories for this CROM Junior, part of his life, CROM's life, and then would collect them in a full color down the road. So this is going to be really fun and very, very experimental. Of course, you got CROM here. Okay, good. I already mentioned Lala. Just gray values. You know, I already have the all 3 of these have been given my gray value treatment. What is going on here today? Of course, got included in a group text, family business. So it's very much like the pages you just saw with CROM the Horror, Jason Schoonover's CROM the Horror. So it's a lot of just making things darker, making things lighter, just having fun decision making, and painting myself in a corner and then trying to get myself out. But a lot of those things are already completed in my head. Just needs the physical time of execution. Pretty good. That. Oh yeah, these, and then after I get these, I need the illustration. I have them laid out. I'm just gonna have to physically make them, which is not big. You know, these are all still be like 7 by 7 inch illustrations. You know, spot illustrations are called. So you can see here, same type of thing here. Not a lot of work, but really want them to sit with you on a page of text. So help you move through the story. What was the other one? Oh yeah, CROM Daring. Must be really far. I got CROM Daring, which I'll be going to this Friday or Saturday. Must be. Ooh, I got some news here from Adam. Oh, here it is, right after Adam's. So 9 pages, already grayscaled. Now I just need to start playing with black and white, tone and texture. Black and white, so no color, no too crazy of a playing around, you know, going about it. But I just have to do a shout out to Adam Bennett. He has part 3 of this CROM and the Altar of the Serpent. They're running about 8 pages. I can't remember right off the bat, but I know 8 pages. I am thoroughly like bowled over. So with that being said, I just also want to shout out to people who want to contribute and or collaborate that, until I get CROM Anthology #1 out, I can't play with anybody yet, but I can start getting you in slots to fill up CROM Anthology #2. And I'm really excited because not only Adam, but I know and right now I have 4, 5 stories. I'm going to say completed. Finished is going to be, but completed. In other words, like they've been penciled out, they've been written, so the execution is there. So #2 is already getting on fire. And I've already started building a list of those extra things, the extra stuff that I always like putting in there to kind of, fluff it up, but, keep you immersed in the sword and sorcery world. So that's all I really want to go on about today. I want to thank everybody who joined me and the support. As I said, 7 of the 10 that I would love to see out there, prints of this mock-up, are there. And thank you very much. It means a lot to me, and it's a lot of support to keep me moving through. If you want to get involved with CROM, there's the free scripts to download from cromthebarbarian.com. If you want to just grab a copy of my CROM 2024 and play off of anything in here, it is all for your pleasure. This is like a handbook. It's all me and Gardner Fox and John Gwinta, the original material. So it's a real nice leaping point visually, maybe giving you some ideas and going from there. The big news today, the Brutal Blade of CROM #2, out in the wild, ready to be purchased. You can get it from me at cromthebarbarian.com. Limited copies with CROM the Barbarian, Brutal Blade of CROM #2, or Instagram. If you use Instagram, go over to Instagram, punch in Just Jamie, and you'll find his Instagram account in his bio. There will be a direct link to being able to get both of these copies. I think there'll be 2 different links from there. More CROM the Barbarian collection, which is Jim Gullett, who's one of my absolute favorites when it comes to the appearance of CROM that I think we need to see more of. I know pages are being made by Jim. It's so exciting to have him back on. There's a 2-page spread that's been done, a double-page spread that will be added into the CROM Anthology #1. As I mentioned earlier, I have some amazing work by John Sword, Scoundrel's Dread, an art book, dark art concept book, Intergalactic Barbarians, limited edition, limited copies. And then just added today, Jeff Lafferty's The Berserkonaut. It is too long for me since it's not having this comic. Don't really have any good excuse for it. But now I do have them, and I want to make sure everybody else out there is getting a copy. Last thing being said, cromthebarbarian.com. Great way to be able to get a couple comic books, save on shipping. But as I say, it's nice to get a few comics when they come in, so you just kind of spend the afternoon or the evening checking out those books, and immersing in what I'm going to very much assume, if you made it this far, 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes into my update rant on CROM Anthology, you're a sword and sorcery fan. And, I thank you for being one with me, being a part of the community on whatever level it is, contributing, collaborating, purchasing books, or just stopping by and giving a like and maybe making a comment to keep all of us encouraged to move forward. But that's what I have today. And there'll be an update probably less than 2 weeks. I'll have an update, probably second week of September from there. So thank you very much, and I will see you. Buy your Brutal Blade of CROM #2 And if you don't have one, number one.